Hello and welcome to another review, not a review, a whiskey tasting session, this time with my brother, aka the scientist.
Well, if you would like to call me that, but judging from the attire, you will probably guess which type of science it is.
He has a master's degree in history, is that right?
Precisely.
And a PhD in life.
That will be edited out.
Yep. This time we're gonna taste Imperial, 10-year-old. Now Imperial is a Speyside distillery. It was demolished in 2013, aka last year. And actually, well, that's actually the only thing I know about it. So really, we're gonna wing this. We're gonna wing this this tasting. We have both smelled it 10 minutes ago or something like that.
Yeah, we popped open the bottle while we were setting up.
Yeah, but that's it. So let's go. Now it's bottled at 46% alcohol by volume, so it's fairly strong. It was distilled in 1998 and bottled in 2009. So here we go.
Thank you.
So we'll just have to see if we can agree on, what it smells like and what it tastes like. Now I'm going to add a little bit of water due to the fairly high alcohol volume. A little bit of water.
I think I'm gonna smell it first and we'll see what the bottle after that.
Ooh. Here we go. Well, straight off the batch, I'm getting caramel, vanilla and caramel.
I'm with you on the vanilla, not so much on the caramel, but it definitely has a sweet smell, but I find it's mostly vanilla, not so much caramel. The color suggests that no caramel's been added though, although I'm not really that into the field.
Well, you might be right.
It doesn't say on the bottle.
No chill filtration and no color added. So 1 point.
But definitely a sweet smell.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Slightly fruity.
There's a fruit note. Absolutely, there's a fruit note.
Not so much nuts, which I hear is often common in these types, but
nuts is, you would primarily associate that with Spanish oak, and I'm not getting any sherry notes. Well, that's actually wrong. I'm getting a little bit of a sherry note, but I'm not getting any nuttiness. Did you get nuts?
No, I didn't get nuts. I said, but
did you get nuts?
Sometimes, but if it's been lying in an oak casket, then it should smell a little bit nutty.
Well, yeah, but the nutty smell and flavor is mostly associated with Spanish oak. I'm thinking, based on the nose, that this is primarily matured in ex-bourbon casks.
Okay.
I'm primarily getting vanilla. I'm getting a little bit of the fruit note. I think it's something like pears, like canned pears maybe.
I can't identify it further, but
and definitely a vanilla and a.
You might be right, because it's not really doesn't smell like berries, so it might be pears.
It's not hyper complex. I would say it's fairly. It's a classic Speyside. On the nose, this is classic Speyside to me. Well, I'm getting a slight hint of sherry. I don't know why. This sort of.
Could you extrapolate on why?
Yeah,
why it's
nutty. Well, it smells like sherry, but it's this kind of.
Could you extrapolate on why you say it's typically it's a typical Speyside?
Well, typical Speyside to me at least. It's fairly light. It's vanilla. It's caramel, and a little bit fruity. That would be a typical Speyside. So to me, this this is really a typical Speyside whiskey.
Yeah,
but
I'm with you. I'm with you on all that.
Give it a little bit of time and maybe a grassy note, but
actually, I might just confuse the high volume of alcohol with a hint of smoke. But I actually think there is a hint of bog or smoke. I'm not getting any smoke on the nose, but I'm gonna taste it. As I said, it might be the alcohol volume, relatively high volume of alcohol.
Ooh, a little bit feisty. Now again, you want a little bit of water?
Just a few drops. Okay, thanks.
I'm definitely getting. Again, I'm definitely getting the vanilla, and I'm getting caramel. Now you said smoke before, and I'm actually. I may have to agree because there might be a slight peatiness. I'm not sure about it.
Slight peatiness in the aftertaste, I think. Not so much right away, but more in the aftertaste.
Definitely. And I'm actually picking it up now. I'm picking up exactly in the aftertaste. There's a slight hint of peat. It's very faint.
But I'm not getting the caramel, although I agree with you on the fruits. Can you identify it further? You said pear before. You're still in that ballpark?
Yeah, still pears, caramel. It's a little bit spicy. It is a little bit feisty. It's a little bit young.
Oh, yeah.
It's not harsh, but it's you're definitely getting the alcohol, and I'm getting a peppery note, though it could be confused with the alcohol bite. But there is a peppery spiciness to it.
I agree. Not so much in the aftertaste, but you get it right
away. Straight away. Yeah.
Straight away.
It's definitely decent. I'm not gonna go on a limb and say it's extremely complex but it's to me this is really typical Speyside. I know that this Imperial in general has been bashed for being a little bit characterless. But I actually think characterless. You could call it characterless because it's a typical Speyside. No more, no less, in a sense.
Well, I don't have your taste buds, but I wouldn't be able to identify this from a lot of other medium range whiskies, and there are on these notes of both sweetness and peppery spiciness and a slight hint of peat in the aftertaste, and it's clear in its taste, and I actually like that because
it's pretty straightforward. I'm actually getting a little bit of berries on the nose now. I can't really identify what kind of berries. Not raspberry maybe. It's a pretty decent whiskey to me, but if you were to judge this on a scale from 1 to 5 stars, or the official scale from 0 to 100, normally a whiskey would be somewhere between 80 and 95, or 75 and 95. That would be all the drinkable whiskeys, and anything above and under that would be, well, not many whiskies are in that range. So how would you rate it?
Well, that's I actually like it. I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward in its taste.
Yes, pretty straightforward.
I know that's not a really good description, but I mean
it's a fair description. It's a fair description.
It doesn't do a lot of things, but what it does, but what it tries to do, it actually succeeds.
I mean,
it
definitely
succeeds being sweet, peppery, and it has a punch. So I would say somewhere in the 80s. I mean,
Yeah.
Something like that.
Agreed. You could
or
say
a Brookline.
decent whiskey, so you would be somewhere in the 80s, and I tend to agree. I would probably rate this 3 out of 5 stars, or something like 83, between 83 and 85 out of 100. It's not an amazing whiskey, but it's definitely, you know, this is typical Speyside, and there's nothing wrong with it. And it's unchill filtered, and it was, I guess it was 40 pounds or something like that, you know, and for that's fair, you know, for a whiskey coming from a demolished distillery, that's you know, that's definitely okay.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
Compared to what else you can get for 40 pounds.
Yeah, that's definitely. So we agree, somewhere in the 80s, 3 out of 5 stars, something like that.
I would subscribe to that too.
Cool. Well, I guess that's it. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. See you soon. Bye bye.